Welcome into our lives.
And welcome to the Expanders Club podcast.
We're so happy to have you.
Join us as we embark on a journey of deep exploration, soul searching, and asking the hard questions.
With the goal of truly understanding the most aligned, empowered, and purposeful versions of ourselves.
We want to live an extraordinary life, and we're willing to dig deep to find out what it takes.
Buckle up. You're about to meet a new version of yourself, an extraordinary one. Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of the Expanders Club podcast. I am your host, Brooke Harris, your friend, hopefully a guide for you on your evolution, your spiritual journey. And I'm just here to make things fun, to tap us into whatever the moment's calling for, and hopefully do it in a fun, enlightening, accessible way for all of our growth and all of our expansion, because who doesn't want to live their best life and have the most fun in this lifetime? That's kind of what my mission is in the moment. Let's have the most fun and let's really enjoy this human experience. We're getting into something fun this week. We are going to talk about the energy of money, abundance, an abundance mindset, a poverty mindset, the stories we tell ourselves, the things that we learned from childhood, from the collective, from society about money, and how we shift our energy to bring in the abundance and money mindset that we want. So we have one of my favorite guests, a repeat guest, Margaret Bryant. She is an oracle herself. She is a spiritual guide, a spiritual teacher. She is a friend and a mentor of mine, and a favorite on the pod. And she has a lot of great tips, a lot of great information she's sharing, kind of starting with how did we get here? A lot of us have these stories, right, of not enoughness, of, again, what we are calling the poverty mindset. How did we get here and how do we transform? For some reason this time of year, I think money is on our minds a lot. I guess, it's the holidays coming up. We're spending extra money. We're buying gifts. We're receiving gifts. It's the end of the year. So our finances are, at least for me in my situation with my businesses, our finances are very clear, and the financial choices we've made for the year are very clear. And I think it can start to bring about some contraction and some of those old stories and some of those fears and some of that discomfort around money. So I'm really hoping this is a conversation that helps you through this time, helps you kind of take a breath, maybe feel re-energized around the topic, and certainly help get you in the right mindset for the end of the year and beginning of a new and very exciting year. Before we fully get into the episode, though, I want to talk to you, everything that we talk about, at the root of everything that we talk about on this podcast is energy. At the root to all of the answers to what we're looking for, whether you choose the path of money, spiritual growth, manifesting, love, whatever path triggers you down, whatever catalyst triggers you down this path, at the root of it is energy and how we shift our energy, how we bring in and radiate at the highest vibration, how we play and operate in our energetic field. So I want you to keep that in mind, right? It really is. We talk about a lot of different subjects on this podcast. I talk about them through my teaching and the info that I share. But at the root of it, it is just how you manage your energy and the energy around you. So I want to give you guys a little exercise, something that's super easy. So don't tune out at the word exercise. It's super easy, simple, 3-minute exercise to do heading into the holiday season, we're a week before Thanksgiving. I know this time the energy is just intense, and it can be triggering to be around certain people, to be around family. No matter how much spiritual work you do, you can show up in ways that you're not proud of in hindsight. And I don't want that. for you guys this season. So I want to give you this little exercise, one, to make your holiday feel, and you can take this far beyond the holidays, but to make your holiday feel aligned with the vibration that you want to bring to the table, literally to the Thanksgiving table. And I want you to not have any regrets, right? We've all been there. I've been triggered at dinner, been triggered in a situation with family, and like later on wish that we would have acted a different way. I also want to prove to you, I want to give you an easy way to prove that this is all energy, and managing your energy is all that really matters to bring us all the things, to magnetize all the things, to create and build the life that we really want. So this is super simple. Are you ready? I want you, whatever you're doing to celebrate the holidays, whether it's with friends, with family, before you go into your activity, before you go into the event that you're going to, for any, it doesn't have to be Thanksgiving, any part of this week, before you open a Zoom room, right? If you have a few meetings left, before you, anything that you care about and care about how you show up and how you're presented, I want you to do this. Sometimes I do it in the car. Sometimes I'll do it like literally outside of the door right before I ring a doorbell. I want you, or sometimes I do it in the morning, like for the day. I mean, I do this every morning for the day, but I want this to be very specific to something that you're ideally physically showing up for. I want you to create intentions around the energy that you are going to bring to that event, that interaction. So I'll give you an example. Say you're driving to Thanksgiving dinner at a friend or family member's house. On the drive, I want you to think about, state, and call in the energy that you want to bring to that dinner. I want to bring presence. I want to bring peace. I want to speak clearly. I want to have gratitude for the people in that room and the moment. I want to feel magnetic. I want people to feel good because I showed up, because I'm there just being around me. Whatever it is, it can be a long list, it can be a short list, but I want you to create that intention. And I want you to put, as you're doing it, here's the exercise that I like to do. I like to imagine, you don't have to close your eyes for this, but you can if you'd like. I want you to imagine a bubble above your head. It can be any color that you want. I want you to put those things into that bubble. I want to be present. I want to be clear. I want to be magnetic. I want to be kind. I want to be patient, right? Whatever those things are, put them into that bubble. Set your intention that that's how you are going to show up, and then let that bubble wash over your whole body, your whole energetic system. Just visualize the color of that bubble kind of washing over you. Take a few breaths with it. There's really no right or wrong way to do this, right? As long as you are stating and setting the intention. And I guarantee you, when you walk through that door, you will be those things. You will be those things, and your experience in that room, at that setting, at that event with those people will be incredibly different, and they will know and feel it, and they won't know why. They will feel the difference. The way that they interact with you will change because of your vibration, because the highest vibration brings up everyone else's vibration, right? So go into these events with a plan to be the highest vibration, to be all the things that you want to be, and just set that intention and walk in with that energy. And I promise you, it will change the energy of everything and every moment at that event. I'll give you a quick example. The first time I really intentionally did this, and I don't know if it was the first time, but it was a time where I really intentionally did this, was a few years ago. I was walking into an event that was all women, all female entrepreneurs. It was a day-long event. And there were different speakers, and it was like kind of post-COVID. So it was there were a few people I knew, but a lot of people I didn't. It was kind of one of the earlier first interactions. It was post me having my first kid. I'm a whole new person, right? And I just had some uneasy feelings on the drive there. And so I was like, no. I had also my relationship to my career had changed a lot and I hadn't really shared that in public. So there was like some uneasiness for me heading into this event. On the drive to the event and before walking into the event, I set my intention. I am going to be grounded. I am going to be present. I am going to be magnetic. I am going to let people see me, the real me. Like, I want people to see me and be magnetized. And because I was also practicing sharing about my spiritual gifts in these interactions, right? It could be a small thing, but like to tell someone that, oh yes, I'm an oracle and a spiritual coach, and I do, I open the Akashic records and I can get answers to anything you want. That can be a little bit weird, especially when so many of these people knew me already as the founder and CEO of a beverage company. So it was a little nerve-wracking, but I set this intention. I put a green bubble around me, did the exact exercise I'm telling you guys about. I walked in right away. A few people that knew me came up. We said hi, had the best interaction. And then it was time for one of the talks. And so we all sat down through the 45-minute talk. I got up and I walked to like this outside patio. You guys, literally separately, I had 3 different groups of women come up to me and say, essentially, like, I saw you come in and I felt like I had to know you. I had to talk to you. Or I saw you across the way, or I saw you ask a question. I immediately felt magnetized to you. Literally, it was like comical to the point of like exactly what I asked for, exactly the energy I was putting out. These women felt, and were saying it back to me. It was really beautiful. And it was just such a good example of like, hey, I made a choice. I made a conscious decision of the energy that I wanted to be in and committed to being in that energy. And people saw the difference instantly. People saw and recognized it instantly. And it brought these people to me. I didn't have to tell them what I did. They didn't know anything about me. All they knew was that I had a magnetic energy, and that wins the day every single time. So I hope you get an opportunity to play around with that. And, once you see the proof, you can use it in everything that you do. I mean, I do that exercise every morning about how the energy that I want to bring to the day. I certainly do it if I'm heading into a meeting or something important. I definitely do it when I have interactions with certain family members, right? Or certain groups of people, my board meetings. So it's a really beautiful, simple tool. And it just starts to bring a little bit more of our awareness into the energy, our own energy field, how we want to show up, how we are expressing ourselves, and how people react to that when we do, positive and negative, right? Because as much as people will react to positive energy, they'll react to negative energy, right? So trust me, it works, and you will see a difference immediately. All right, friends. Happy start of the holiday season. Wishing you all so much love, so much of whatever you need this holiday season, and hoping you get to have some fun and experiment and play with the energy around you. If you need me, as I said, I am an oracle and a spiritual teacher. I open the Akashic records, I talk to your guides, I talk to your soul, find out what he or she wants. We can answer anything from questions from purpose to love life. We're heading into the new year, and so I'm starting to do year ahead sessions with my clients where we talk about the energy for the year, some of the big things that are going to come up in 2026 for them, how to prepare for them, what just this next chapter, because a lot of us are heading into a new chapter, what this next chapter looks like for them. It's a lot of fun, and it can be a really great tool to help you get grounded and kind of settle into your own spiritual journey, your own expansion. So you can DM me and we can talk about setting up an appointment. You can find a link in my personal, on my personal Instagram, _Brooke_Harris. I'm here to help in whatever way. And if nothing else, I hope that you enjoy this episode with Margaret. She is incredible. I will link all of the ways to access her in the show notes, which I highly recommend doing. Wishing you an energetic and high vibe holiday season. Appreciate you all. Enjoy this episode. Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of the Expanders Club podcast. I have a very special repeat guest today. My friend, teacher, mentor, amazing spiritual healer, Margaret Bryant. Hi, Margaret.
I'm so happy to be back again and have the opportunity to talk and share about all things wonderful that we love in this world and in this life. So I'm excited.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. There's no lack of things that we can talk about, but we both kind of felt that the topic of poverty consciousness made a lot of sense to discuss with the collective today. And not only that, but the path from poverty consciousness to hopefully abundance consciousness, or whatever we want to label it. But we kind of touched on it for a minute in our last episode together, and people wanted more. So we're going to dig in today.
We're going to give more. There's lots more.
Yes. Can you tell me about this concept, what it means, poverty consciousness? What does it mean?
Well, others would call it lack and limitation, that there's not enough, that there's all these beliefs around the energy of money. And money is just energy. That's all it is. So how you look at it and change the way you believe about it and the thoughts that you've heard about it will then change the flow of it to you, because then you're just calling it energy. So it's not that difficult. It can take a little bit of time, but I can tell you it works. From my own experience.
It sounds so simple.
It does work though, from, as I said, from my own experience, but when I talk to people and help them with this and teach them, give them some tools for themselves, they see the change as well. So it's not just me. It is an energy that I have the ability to latch onto and grab hold of and work with.
I agree. I've been doing this work for myself, and I'm not all the way there, but I've seen some shifts. Literally before we got on, I opened up my business bank account and I'm like, damn, every time I open this bank account, there's more money in it. Like, what the heck? And obviously, yes, obviously we're working and doing the things to bring in sales and keep the business growing.
That's not the only way that money can go in there, though.
Yes. Ooh, okay. I love that. I want to get to that. Let's start with, for people, let's just start with the basics. How do you know that poverty consciousness might be a part of your mindset or a part of what's going on in your world?
Okay. So one, of course, financial situations. You feel like you have to work all the time. You have to work hard for money. We could go down through a whole list of belief systems that you've heard as a kid or as an adult that actually locks that belief into your being.
And let's take a moment, because it feels like society kind of ingrains this into us, right? The few things that you just said, you have to work hard. Like, how many of us have heard that? If you want to make something of yourself, if you want to be something, you have to work hard. Money doesn't grow on trees. I heard that a ton growing up, where it literally kind of does.
It does, because it's made from paper and linen. Paper comes from the trees. The money literally grows on trees.
Yes, but I feel like society and this belief that it's not only a belief that there's not enough for us, but if someone has something, then there's not enough of that for us. If you have it, then I lack it. And I feel like that's just how, no matter who your parents are, the outer society teaches us that. Capitalism, the patriarchy, call it what you want. But I feel like it's so ingrained in all of us because that's just kind of how we're taught like society works.
Well, kind of like you mean you're like taking away from other people if you have it?
Yeah, all the things. Like there's, especially right now, I think in our culture, which is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this topic right now, there is this very there's not enough jobs, there's not enough money, there's not of, if this race, this culture is stealing jobs from us, if they're coming here and thriving, that means we're not thriving. Like there's a lot of that energy out in the world right now that creates like blaming the other for what you don't have, and creates division and allows us to point fingers at others and separation. And I feel like the collective is in this like deep, dark poverty hole.
Well, no, it truly is, because there's the 1% elite that control everything, control the money, control the thoughts that go out there about money so that they stay in power and we stay enslaved. Because it is an enslavement until you realize how to use the energy of money and to change your beliefs about it. To not just change your beliefs. You have to change the beliefs, but we have to remove the energy that's feeding the old beliefs so that the new beliefs have something to stand up and adhere and hold. So a big one is money is the root of all evil. So if you're going around saying that, why would you want to let evil into your life?
Right.
Why would you want to give evil to anybody? Give. Most of us, when we have good finances, or even when we don't, we give freely from our heart. So there's this whole thing about there's not enough. So one thing that makes this easier to do now than ever before is we no longer very rarely use cash. So money's only numbers now. It's numbers in your bank account, right. It's number on your debit card, number on your credit card. It's only numbers. So if you can start looking at it that way, that will help you change it dramatically, because you could look. One thing I do, and this works amazingly well, is I go into visualization and I open my phone app for my bank often. So I open it up in my meditation and I look at, oh, blah, 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 there's this much there. So I don't say like there's, $50,000 even, because that's not really going to happen. It's going to be 50,175 and 23 cents or 5 million. So I'm putting in these higher numbers, right. But I'm also seeing the higher numbers in my bank account. I'm seeing debits. I'm seeing debits going out, donations for Habitat for Humanity, donations for clean water. And then I see more money come in and more can go out. So I also imagine those things happening as well. And it's just numbers. And then I'm go to the feeling that, oh, I'm so happy. Look, so many people are going to have clean drinking water. It's so important. And, oh, homelessness is disappearing. We're making that happen. So things like that, you have to change that feeling with it.
Yeah, what would you label that? Is that kind of just like looking at money as a tool, like a tool to help you operate in the world, how you want to operate in the world and show up how you want to show up?
You can. And it's just an energy. So another practice that works very well, and this one works probably better than any of them. Once you start being grateful for all the money you give out. So every time I go to the grocery store and I pay for my groceries, I'm saying, oh, thank you, God. I'm helping all of these people put food on the table for their children, all the cashiers there, and they have homes and clothes for their kids. Thank you so much. and now I have food on my table as well. And I go to pay for gas, or I'm driving down the road and I see the price of gas went down. Oh, thank you, God, the price of gas went down for everybody. This is more money for everybody.
Yes.
So every time I put money out, I am sending the energy of gratitude to everybody that's participating in bringing this product to me that I'm paying for.
Yeah. I love that. So it feels like the first place to start, right, is like examining our relationship with money.
Yes.
And if you're feeling like you're not quite as abundant as you'd like, what are the stories you're telling yourself? That money is the root of evil, that there's not enough money out there, that I have to work harder. Like, what are those stories? And even this is where it's so helpful, because hearing you say them reflected back to me, I'm like, oh, the energy of that. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel correct. And it just feels yuck. Like, so maybe people could say it out loud to themselves too and feel that energy. I feel like that is like a good moment to be like, those are just words.
It's because you recognize the frequency. Your words are frequency. Your words are energy. So you start to realize it because you feel it. So money doesn't grow on trees. Money's evil. Rich people are snobby.
That's one.
I'll have to work until I die. My pension is never going to be enough. So I'm always going to have to work. Or, on the other hand, I love working. I can't sit still and idly by, so I'll have to always be working because I need to keep moving and all that. But that still is creating a lack mentality.
Let's pause on that. Let's pause on that for a moment, Margaret, because I do think there are some stories that people think are like positive that hold that same energy, right? Like maybe even, and I'm just throwing this out there, let me know what you think, but I'm thinking of them in real time, but like, I'm a hard worker. Like that has like pride behind it, right? And like, but you could see how that puts you in a pattern that where you keep following that. Or I have friends who are founders that have businesses that, don't hire or don't grow because I hear them saying like, well, no one can do it as good as I can do. Like I feel like there are stories too that kind of look positive, but are actually holding us back.
I'm not educated enough. I don't have money to go back to school. You need a degree to make a lot of money. You need to go to college to make a lot of money. Even those things are lack and limitation. They will hold you back from getting the energy of money coming to you. So one of the things that I did when I was working on transforming my lack and limitation consciousness. So money doesn't grow on trees, and I was, yes, it does. And I actually Googled it to make sure what is the money made from, just in case. And then I went out and I got some paper clips, and I had a ficus tree in my house. So I got some paper clips, and I got a bunch of $1 bills, and I had a couple 10s and a couple 20s at that time that I could spare. I folded them up, and I hung them on the tree like decoration.
I love that. Yes.
So it's a tree. If you have actual money trees, it's a type of plant, a tree. You could get that and put the money on it and do that. So I'm seeing the money does grow on trees. I have this tree in my home, so I'm bringing the money in.
I love that. Yes. I mean, all these tools to get past the logical brain, right, are what we need if we want to change our relationship to money. So first we examine what are the stories that we're telling ourselves. How can we start to remove them or like allow them to dissipate? And then I loved your example of, this is very much a changing the relationship of, and this I think is something that you can fake it till you make it, right? Like having gratitude for the dollars that you're spending. You might not feel that way right away, but you can act like you do, and then start to actually have that. And what a different what a different exchange that is in every way, not just your relationship to money, but your relationship to, like you said, at the grocery store. Like, imagine the ripple impact that has. Hey, I feel good giving you this money because I know you're staying employed, you're supporting your family. Like, imagine how good that makes that cashier feel, how that has a ripple impact on their life. So I love that example of starting to have gratitude for the money that you're spending.
Well, and a lot of people do that. They'll say, "Oh, thank you, God, I had enough money to buy the groceries, that I had on my list today. I had enough money to fill my tank with gas." And a lot of people do that, but this is extending it out. So, when I go, a simple thing, I go to Walmart. I almost never will go through the self-checkout aisle unless I have one item and I'm in a big hurry. And I always will wait in line, go through the cashier, and I will tell them, I'm happy to wait in line to keep you employed. I go through the toll booth. I won't have Easy Pass. I'm going to pay with money. And I give the money to the person at the toll booth, and I say, I'm happy to pay you to keep you employed. And I am.
Wow.
I'm not just saying it. I am.
Yeah.
Because technology, the way it's going, is doing everything to force people out of those jobs. Yes, there will be other jobs that we can do that we can use the technology with, but until you learn how to do that, people are going to be out of jobs. So I know most listeners here can remember a time that we could go in Walmart and there wasn't an armed cop there, not a security guard. There's policemen in the Walmarts, and just walking by and stopping and saying thank you, and may God keep you safe. So finding gratitude in everything, not just the money part of it, is a great way to go, because a lot of people will do that on a regular basis, just be in gratitude for what they do have. The other thing too is, okay, so a lot of people say, well, how can they afford, I don't know how they can afford that. Look at all the stuff they have. They got a house, they got 2-3 cars, they got a boat and all this. Are you thinking of, do you think about what kind of payments they have as well?
Right.
So it's this constant flow and turnaround of the money.
Yeah. It's almost like we have this very surface level relationship with money right now, right? And we really have to go deeper and think about the big picture. Like, what is it? What are we going to be grateful for that it's allowing for us? What can we be grateful for that it's allowing for society to operate? How can we change? I think for me too, even just like respecting money a bit more, help change my relationship with it. Like the money that I bring in, I respect how I spend it and think about it. I took over the family finances just to start to pay attention a bit more and really make sure that we're spending money in the places that matter to us and are important to us versus just spending it. Because I've certainly also had the mindset of like, hey, it's just money, which I think can be good and can be dangerous. It's just money. I'll make more. I think that came from like through college. I was a bartender and worked in the service industry, and you kind of can. This is something I was doing before I was even into spiritual stuff, is I'd go into work, and on my way into work as a bartender, I'd be like, I need to make $250 tonight. And you know what? I'd make $250. And I would do that all the time. And there was obviously an energetics there. I didn't fully associate it with it at the time, but I knew something was happening that like if I declared what I needed to make, I needed to make it. And that was a beautiful experience. But I would say I lost a little bit of respect for money for a bit, right? And running a business where you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, like you said, it does become just numbers, and it's hard to have a relationship with it when they're moving that quickly. And so something for me in the past year or so is like really thinking about respecting the money that comes in, and making sure I'm consciously spending it on the things that really matter to us. Like that's made a big difference for me in the energetic relationship I have with abundance and money.
That's very true. And the other thing that stops the flow of money to people is their own acceptance of it. So somebody wants to give you a gift. Here, let me buy lunch. No, 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 no. It's okay. No. Well, then let me pay for the tip. And so you can't accept the gift fully that's being given.
Yes.
You think there's an attachment. If someone gives you money, you think you have to do something back. Also, a compliment. So someone pays you a compliment. Oh, I love your blouse. First thing you need to do, thank you. That's accepting it. Then it's, oh, I got it on sale, blah, 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 or my sister gave it to me, whatever that looks like. But you need to say thank you first. If you don't, then you negate the energy of the compliment, and you also stop the flow of abundance to you. So there's all of these little things that you need to become aware of that we do on a normal basis that stop that flow. Giving, receiving, giving, receiving. Giving, receiving.
Well, and I love that example to take it back to you talking about how giving money is an energetics too, right? Because if someone offers us to buy something for us and we block it, then we're changing their relationship to the energy of that exchange, right? And not allowing them to give and go through their cycle of how they wanted to spend in the relationship they wanted to have with their money. So I like that when you can look at it from all angles.
It is, and so if you can expand your awareness, and we're on the Expanders Club, expand your awareness of what money really is. It's just an energy. Then things start to change. So one of those things that you can do is write a check to yourself from the universe for $1 million, right? Or however much you want to put on there. Understand that $1 million doesn't have to come to you right then and there or in one lump sum. It could be you got a raise, you get another raise. Every time you go to the grocery store, your grocery list is on sale. The price of gas goes down. So now more money is coming to you. So you may get that $1 million in, let's say, 5 years, and you don't even realize it. And then you need to write a new check because you've received it's going to just trickle in. So that's one technique people use. Another one was one woman, she envisioned UPS coming to her door every day with a box of money, and she would put the box by her front door, and it was full of money. Neville Goddard taught to study a $100 bill or $20 bill, whatever that looks like for you. Study the bill. Look it all over. You memorize it. For me, I can taste money if I hold it more than like 30 seconds. Money has a taste and a smell.
Ugh, yeah. No offense, but that taste is not good.
Yeah, like it mostly comes from metal, but I can feel that. So then you go to bed and you lay in a position that's not comfortable, so you'll stay awake. And then you envision yourself counting. So I do hundreds, counting $100 bills, counting them, stacking them the way that I count money, because I have a way of. I was a cashier, I was a bookkeeper, so I have a way of moving my hands and counting it. So I'm doing that, and then I got it stacked. Okay, I've counted. I count it twice in two different ways. Stack it. I go to bed. The next morning, money's coming. Seriously.
Yes. What about? Are there any like mantras that you like to use to kind of? Because for me, that can automatically shift energy for me too. Is having a mantra.
Happy to pay for my groceries. I'm happy to pay the taxi driver and the tip. I'm happy to do this. That's what I changed it. It's not, I'm so, I'll say I'm grateful too, and thank you, God. For me, it'd be thank you, God, that I can give this and help them. But I'm happy to do this. It makes me happy to be able to do that, because I can tell you there were times most of my life when I couldn't give the extra, when I counted pennies at the grocery store. And so I am so happy when I go and I can do these things.
Yeah.
Especially here in Egypt, because in Egypt, because of the currency exchange, so if I give a 200-pound tip, Egyptian pound tip, that's $4 to me. That 200 pounds is a lot to an Egyptian. That would be like somebody giving me $200 US.
Oh, wow.
Seriously, it's almost like that.
That's a pretty beautiful experience.
Yes. So it's like, oh, it's only this amount to me. I can give more, then I can give more, and then I can give more, and I can give more.
Yes.
And I'm very happy, so happy to do that. But the thing that changed it the most, being aware of my surroundings. I'm living in an abundant household. I have groceries. I have a roof over my head. I'm living in an abundant household.
Right.
And then the big change came when I started being grateful and sending it forward. I'm putting food on someone's table. I'm so happy that, their kids have clothes and school supplies. It's September. The kids have school supplies that they need. And so I'll think of all those things. Once you do that, you will change it tremendously.
Yeah, I can already feel that energetic shift. How do we think about saving in a way that feels abundant and not like we're trying to grasp onto our money?
It's kind of like tithing. So let's say you have a budget and you're going to put $50 in the bank every week. Take $10 of that and donate it to something. There's all kinds of GoFundMes all around. You can go on, so let's say you're on YouTube and you listen to specific channels all the time. They have the super thanks. You can give them a donation. So take 40, give 10 away. When it comes, give some of it away. Somehow, some way. I'm grateful that
I like that.
So you're I don't like the word tithing. You're just giving back to the universe. You're just giving back. You're paying it forward. You're moving it forward. So
and that energy always attracts more also. Like every time.
It does. And you just really have to watch your thoughts. Truly. And we think these things all the time until you really start paying attention.
What about our relationship to things and items and needing things and this, like, the relationship to consumerism, I guess? How does that fit into this?
We like our things. We like our things. We like our things that make our life easier, more comfortable. But they are really just things. So I just came back to Egypt. My luggage was traveled all over the world without me for over a week. And I'm home and I'm like, oh my God, my bags. I was more worried about the gifts that I brought back for people. But I'm happy I'm here safe. but also there was some things in there that were a huge necessity that I need that I can't get here. And then I'm in a panic about that. And finally I said, you'll make do. Don't worry about it. Your bags are going to come. They come when they come. Let it go. And then they showed up. But I had to keep reminding myself, it's okay. You're here. You're safe. Your bags will come. And then the mind would start going.
Yep.
Well, this is in there. This is in there. I need this. I want this. That. And then I would wind myself right up, and then it was, no, stop. Clear the energy. I'm here. I'm safe. Let's go. So it's constant. We have to think about what we're saying and thinking all the time. And this is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is not only being mindful about what you say to people, it's also about what you're thinking, what you're feeling, stopping, and for that simple second to pause between the words. Or if you forget and you get on the rampage, then it's like, okay, cancel. No, done. Replace it with too positive. Move forward. Don't dwell on it.
Yeah, this is something that I've seen in my shift in my relationship to money, is just being more conscious about buying things. And here's a like quick tool that I use is, it started with, again, having more respect for money, understanding what we actually wanted to use our money toward, whether we're saving, whether we're buying things, whatever it is, what are our actual goals. But now I'm someone who would just like, you see, I'm susceptible to the ads on Instagram, right? You see something that's like a nice to have, or maybe in the moment because of the marketing, you feel like you need it. I've started to just take a note instead of I would just go in and buy it, right? It's like $20 here, $30 here, $60 here, like no big deal, but it all adds up very quickly. And so I've started to take a note of the thing that I wanted and put it on a list. And if a few days go by and it's still on my mind and I'm like, this is something that would make my life easier, or this is something that I really want, then I'll purchase it. And 99% of the time, I forget that thing ever even existed. Right?
They're just telling me
so
right
that's
now,
been a really good tool for me.
They're just telling me right now to do this. So when I'm back in the US visiting, before I even leave here, I'm putting stuff in my Amazon cart. When I get there, I will start going through save for later. Is it stuff I want to bring back with me? Is it stuff I'm going to need now? Save for later, save for later, save for later. Now it's coming almost time to come back, and then I'm looking, do I really want that? No, I don't really need that. That was kind of an impulse thing. Delete. So using that as what you were just saying. Putting it on the list, and then all of a sudden you don't need it. The other thing too is writing stuff down on paper. I just a little while ago I put a video on TikTok. I asked, why is it so important to write things on paper? For thousands of years they tell you to write it on paper, write things down. Why is it so important? All the manifestation rituals, release rituals. Paper is made from trees. The paper holds the consciousness of the trees. Connected to the consciousness of the trees. When you write it on the paper, it sends the signals energetically to the trees, and then it gets anchored into this plane of existence, into the earth, into your vibrational equal, and then it comes. Also, so writing the things
I love that
you want, or that you want to release. The paper is important. So also it's good because then make your list, put it away somewhere, go back in a year and pull that list up. You're going to find you've got everything on there.
Yes.
You'll be really surprised.
I'm a big pen to paper notebook girl for sure. Like it just has a different feeling, a different energy. It feels like it allows you like the pause that you need to process. It's like brings in all of your senses to really like understand and process the words. Like, yes, I love that.
There's another practice too that I think Esther Hicks talks about with Abraham. Get a ledger, an old checkbook, register, or anything. Give yourself $1,000 today, and you have to spend that whole $1,000. The next day, $2,000, and you have to spend that whole $2,000. Eventually, you're going to run out of things to spend the money on, and you're going to have this money building up, building up, building up. And this is how to help build money in your accounts, because it is numbers. It's just numbers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that actually happened to me. I actually, last summer, I was getting ready to come back to Egypt, and I was like, okay, you must want something from Amazon. You must want to go out shopping to go bring some stuff back or whatever. And I sat there and I was like, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. For the first time ever in my life, I didn't want anything. I didn't need anything that I didn't already have. And it wasn't important. And that's when I began realizing how things in my life had shifted so much and what I had done to create that.
Yes. That is a really good feeling.
It is.
Yeah.
And, you know, which then helped me to see, okay, it was these thought processes, we got rid of those. And I've been working on poverty consciousness for a while. So it wasn't an overnight thing. But you can now, because a lot of people have done work, they're providing all this information, you can shift it pretty fast. It's not years. I happen to do these things over years of time because I'm doing quantum work, and I'm looking for the bits and pieces, and then I take them out of other people and I forget to do it for myself. I do that a lot. So I get the thought processes and all that, and I remove the energy out of the people I'm working with, and it's still on my list over here to work with and stuff like that. So it's okay. It's okay. But it is figuring out exactly what works, and then just going back. Money is only energy. How do you want to experience energy? How do you want to experience that energy? That's all it is.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so let's say we as individuals, you know, I do my work, I understand my stories, I start to shift my relationship with money. I feel more grateful for it. I, you know, am doing all the visualization work. I am respecting money. I'm respecting how I spend it. And it's going great. However, I am married, and our finances are one and the same. You know, we have the same bank account. We are paying for the same bills. Like, what if my husband is not doing he has his own stories, he has his own relationship. And I'm not saying this is the case in my life. I'm just saying I have a feeling in a lot of a lot of us are in relationships where we don't have control over the other person's relationship to money, their level of poverty or abundance consciousness. Like, how do we work with that?
The highest goes back to the highest vibration rules the day. Okay, we're going to channel. The highest vibration rules the day, and your energy is up here. Your thought process is up here. Your process is what controls the flow. Your process is what brings in and levels out the playing field with the energy of the money. It is your thought process, the higher vibration. It works with everything. It works with everything. It works in relationships. It works in everything you do. They tell you to manifest, to get feeling really good and all of this. No, 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 no. When you do that, you need to hold that vibration all the time in order to be an equal and magnetic match to that coming in. When you are not an equal match to what you're vibrating, what you're sending out and requesting in, it's going to go by you. It's going to come in up here, and you're just living your everyday life. You need to manifest in the frequency that you can maintain every day, all the time. Not way up here and joyful and all of that. And this is why so many people have done that work and worked so very hard to do that. And then their manifestations have never come in. And then they say, oh, this law of attraction is a piece of blah, 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 blah. It doesn't work. Because it wasn't explained to them in the actual frequency, in the actual way of frequency and vibration. It was just explained to them as a technique.
Yes. I see that problem all the time. Yes. And I love how it came out so simply. The highest vibration rules the day with this scenario and with every scenario. And how many of us have seen that happen, right? Like your partner's in a bad mood. You come in, you be the loving one, the gracious one, the kind one. It raises their vibration. So of course it would make sense in this. You're holding that higher vibration, the abundance consciousness. It is only going to elevate them. Maybe they're not going to do the work in the exact same way you're doing or the way that you would recommend, but it doesn't matter. That energy is still there, and it still is attracting the equal frequency.
Yes, and you will have to you may have to work a little harder to keep that frequency up, that exchange, when you have that imbalance going on. So you may have to work a little harder at keeping your vibration up and keeping your thoughts about paying the bills and all the things coming in and all of that. Just simply back in the day when we would write a check, I would write thank you on the memo line and send the check out.
Mm-hmm.
How grateful I am to go and pay my Wi-Fi bill that we could sit here and have this conversation today.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and I think that mindset for everything, right? Like how can we find gratitude? How can we pause to find gratitude in every situation? I'll give a quick example because this is something that I work on in my life every single day, like gratitude, wholeness, not needing anymore. But a really simple example is my husband and I had to go to the emergency room recently, and we were there for a very long time. And Margaret, no one wants to go to the emergency room, right? It was a scary situation. The poking, the prodding, this emergency room, I didn't realize until about 2 hours into it when I had to get taken to get some testing done. We got the only room with a door in the entire emergency room. People were lined up in the halls with partitions between them. People were behind curtains. People were sitting next to each other in the halls with their IVs in. And somehow, Margaret, I have no idea how, we came in at a busy time. Like, we got the only room that had a door. So while we're in this messy, not fun situation, right, we're in the best version of it that was available to us. And my husband, every time my husband would complain, I was like, dude, do not complain. Like, do you know how lucky we are that we're in this room with the door? And so even I felt, while I was scared and a little stressed, like that gratitude overwhelmed those feelings. And I just felt so grateful that, hey, we're going through this messy situation, but we're in the best scenario possible. And like, thank you to the universe for maybe all the other gratitude I had done that day that led me into that room, because I have no idea why else I would have been in there.
2 hours later, still sitting in the waiting room.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I've heard horror stories of people saying that they were waiting to be seen in the ER for 9-10 hours. Yeah. No, we got right in. I mean, the whole process was a 6-hour ordeal, but it was like things were happening the whole time. We had this room, and I think that's just a small example of how life can shift
when you slow down, observe, have gratitude, start to think about how everything is intertwined. Like, it's just everything can shift. Like, you could look at it as like, damn, we had to go to the emergency room. Yes, that sucks, but like, thank God the emergency room was there. Thank God they were able to help us. Thank God we had that room. Like, there's actually so much good in every situation, and the good and the gratitude just attracts more and more of that.
It does. It really does. It's frequency. You attract the frequency you put out. You attract not just what you put out, but what you're emitting. That's who you are. That's what you're going to attract in, is a matching frequency. So the gratitude is huge. That paying it forward, being happy to do that, and then work on releasing the energy of those old thoughts and rigid and limiting belief systems that we have, that we heard as kids, we still hear today, and start removing them from your chakras. Poverty consciousness is held in every one of the chakras. It's not just located in one place. Because you could think of a thing. Okay, so let's say the kid who wants to have the birthday party and their parents can't afford it, the big birthday party for their friends and all of this. So that child now has this feeling inside, maybe I'm not good enough. How come I'm not good enough to have that kind of birthday? And we're poor, so you got solar plexus going on, you got root chakra, because feeling about safe and secure, there's never enough, we don't have this, and now their feelings are hurt and their heart hurts because all their friends are being able to have these parties and they can't, and sometimes they can't even go to the party because the parent can't afford to buy a gift for the child party they've been invited to. So if you really think about it and start looking at the energy and the thought processes, poverty consciousness, these limiting belief systems can be held in every one of our chakras. It's an energy. So it's not just doing root chakra work has to do with money. You have to attend to the whole body, to all of the chakras.
Yes. And that brings up a question for me as a parent. How do we not instill these limiting beliefs in our kids, even though it is a fact sometimes, like that they're requesting things that it's like, hey, we don't have the money for that right now, or we need to save to be able to do that, or whatever it is. Like, kids want crazy things, right? Like my daughter asks every weekend if we can go to Disney World. Like, no, we can't go to Disney World this weekend, But how do we as parents live in the reality of like, hey, maybe we don't have the money for that right now, but not instill these limiting beliefs in our children?
Having a conversation like, okay, let's put it on our wish list.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's put it on our wish
Yes.
list. That's not saying no, you can't. There's not enough money. No, you can't, because here's a good one. I don't have vacation time. I don't have paid vacation. We can't do that. So let's put it on a wish list. Let's put it on a wish list. And you know what? Put it on the fridge. One, then you're going to create it happening. But number two, all the little things they want, put on the wish list, and then what you can do that week, get for them. Take it off the list. Scratch it off the list and let them scratch it off. Say, here, look, we wish for this. We said a prayer. This is what happened. So let's take it off the list now. This is what we got. So make a wish list, because not only that, one, you're writing it on paper, and two, you're putting it in a place that is seen all the time, refrigerator, all the time. So the subconscious mind then is registering the energy of it that you put out when you made it, and it comes even faster. This is the same thing when you're making a vision board. That's why you make the vision board and keep it in a place so that you can see, because then it happens, because you're constantly looking at it. Even if you are not consciously looking at it and saying, oh, yes, the subconscious mind is recognizing it every time you walk past it. because you made the list yourself. So now you're constantly feeding that energy to it.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. And let me give you a real life example that comes up in my world, and you tell me maybe that if there's a better approach to this. So my daughter, of course, like all kids, like doesn't want me to work, right? She's like, certain days she's like, I want to stay home with you, I don't want you to work. And I've caught myself in my response a few times where I've been like, well, mommy has to work in order to pay for the things that we want, to pay for this house, to pay, and I start listing the things. And while that's true, right, it does feel a little limiting on both sides for me and for her. So curious any advice you might have around that conversation.
Look at it. So I've always been trying to find another word for work. This is my passion. This is my journey. But, we come back to the word work. Work has a negative connotation to it. So you could say, I've got to go do this and make some magic for everybody. Or that's not giving an unrealistic thing. I have to go to work today so that I can help other people, and so that it allows people to help us. It allows things to help us. So trying to take that word work out of it and maybe change it to something more fun, and not linking it to having to work to pay the bills and buy groceries and all of that. So I have to go to work so that I can do some stuff to help some other people today, and then the divine can help us.
Yeah.
It is hard.
I like that. That feels nicer.
But it's hard. It really is. But you have to stop. We have to stop and think about it. What we're saying. What are we teaching our kids that we know we were taught and it didn't work? It worked the wrong way on us.
Right. Oh yes, absolutely.
That's what we're doing. We are the generational cycle breakers. This is what we're doing.
Yes.
So you being conscious enough to think about how should I word this another way, that's breaking a cycle that's been told throughout thousands of years.
Yeah.
So think of it this way. Okay, that's been going on for thousands of years. It may be a little more difficult to break than just finding a different word for work. But we start. Yes,
because I also think it's important to call out this belief that I'm working on myself, is like money doesn't only have to come from work, right?
Exactly.
Like
do not dictate how
it can come from anywhere.
Somebody could give you a gift. Yes. You could find $20 on the street, and now they got it out there. Oh, don't pick up the money on the street because it's covered in fentanyl and blah, 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 blah. It can come from anywhere. It comes from the price of gas going down. It comes from all your grocery list is on sale this week. It comes from, okay, it's fall. We don't really need heat. We don't really need AC. The electric bill went down.
Right.
All of that. Say not that you're saving. Don't say, oh, I'm saving money. Oh, look, it's cheaper this month. Oh, we got money given to us. So taking that word saving out.
Yes, I like that. I have a quick story. So money can come from anywhere. With the business, obviously there's metrics, there's spreadsheets, there's all these things that we measure. And we randomly, a few months ago, got word that I don't know if anyone's ever dealt with the IRS and them owing you money, but it's like a lot of times you can kind of kiss that money goodbye, right? Like it's you never want the IRS to owe you money, has been my experience, because it's such a process to get it. With one phone call, Margaret, this money that back in like 2021 we had owed to us from the IRS, because of some things that they were doing because of COVID. The IRS owed it to us. There were some mistakes behind the scenes with like our payroll company, and we didn't get it. And we had been kind of like, my VP of finance had put up a big fight trying to get it, didn't get it. It came up again through our accounting team that was like, hey, just so you know, we have this on the books that the IRS owes you this money. I was like, all right, let me call, like, give me the number, let me call and see what I can do, with no real hope of getting the money. Margaret, phone call to the IRS. First of all, they pick up, they answer within minutes, and I'm speaking to an actual person. And he's like, oh yeah, I see that we owe you that. Like, yes, let me just look at this. A few minutes later, he's like, okay, yeah, you can expect a check for $43,000 in the next 3 to 4 weeks. And I was like, okay, you're sure? Like, is there anything you need from me? And he's like, no, we just submitted your new address. Like, it'll be good. 3 to 4 weeks later, the check shows up. It's in my bank account. Like, I think that there was a lot of work, obviously, I've been doing between 2021 and now with the business, with my own consciousness, with my own gratitude, with my relationship to money. And it was just like this beautiful moment of like, you're supported. The universe is here to support you, and like, money and support can come from any direction. It doesn't have to be sales. It doesn't have to be the hours you put in. Like, there are so many directions that it can come. And like, the IRS was the last place I expected, right? And like, so it's just this beautiful, beautiful example of what's possible out in the world.
Years ago, when I left corporate world, they told me I went and cashed in my retirement. And they told me it was going to be this one amount. And I was like, okay, that's doable. I'm grateful, because I didn't have to pay in for this retirement. It was part of the company benefits. And so it was delayed in getting there. There was paperwork that was delayed on their end, and blah, 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 blah. And finally it comes. I nearly fainted in the post office when I opened the envelope. It was triple the amount that they told me to expect.
Yes.
And I
love that. I love that.
I literally was like, oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yes, I'm supposed to do this. I was supposed to leave corporate world and come and do this. And this is you helping me and taking care of me.
Yes, what a sign.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
yes, what a sign that you're in the right place.
Yes. So it can come from anywhere. Anywhere.
I love that.
This thing with people, sometimes they'll call or message, and I'll talk to them and help, and they'll say, how much do I owe you? And I hear nothing. If you want to make what I call a love offering, you can do that, but I'm not going to charge you anything. And they'll say, okay. Almost every single time that's ever happened, they've paid me double or triple what I would have charged, what my fee would have been. But because I followed the guidance and said no, that energy that I was putting out of love to them and helping them and all of that, it's just energy, was then reciprocated to me in the form of the energy of money, but also not just the dollar signs that was with it, but showing me how much they honored and respected the time that I took with them and the energy that I gave them and the love that I gave them freely.
Yes.
It's just energy.
And what a gift for them. Yes. What a gift for them too, to be able to reflect on that experience and decide what value it has to them. And like, it almost allows them to realize that it has more value than if they were to just do the exchange and then it's over with. So I love that. I feel like we've covered so many great things, so many I think everyone knows where to start, and the stories that need to be cleared and the steps to take. And, I think the path from poverty consciousness to abundance consciousness, it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. Like you've said, it's energy. And I think that whatever direction resonates with you most, if it's moving into abundance, if it's manifesting, if it's, feeling whole, whatever path you choose, this feels like one that is motivating for people, right? But no matter what, it's shifting your energy, and shifting your energy in this realm is going to bleed into every part of your life and just uplift and completely change things.
Absolutely.
So, Margaret, you've given us so many gifts today. We always appreciate your time and your wisdom. Thank you so much.
It is my joy, truly. We're in this together. There's not one person on this planet. It works. And it just keeps getting better and better and better because we're all doing these things together. Make it a better place to live in a better existence for all of us. So, and these are just little things.
Yes.
These are easy things that we can all do that not only will change our life, but it changes the lives and the energy and the feeling of those around you. You take a taxi and you give the taxi driver a really big tip. Man, you understand that from being the bartender. They made your day. You made their day. And they're thinking, oh, man, now I can go and, you know what? My kid wanted this toy today, this remote control car. I can go and buy this before I go home. And, whatever that looks like. But it emanates out into the collective. It's not about us only.
Yes.
It's about all of us only.
Yes.
All of us, not just us only.
Yes. Yes. So, I love that. Margaret, where can people find you and how can they work with you?
My website, seekthelightwithin.com or margaretbryant.org. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. There's some videos on YouTube, some meditations on there. Working to get some more up for people. Margaret Bryant, spiritual mentor. You'll find most of the stuff that I do. So
great
with all that.
Okay, perfect. And we'll link everything in the show notes too. Your wisdom and teachings are such a gift. So as always, thank you for your time and energy and sharing it with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, friends. I hope this helps. I hope this helps you understand and look at your limiting beliefs, shift your relationship to energy, or shift your relationship to money, shift your energy so you can receive all the big and beautiful things that you deserve. Definitely follow Margaret, sign up for her newsletter for much more beautiful wisdom. And this feels like a very shareable episode to me. We all have these limiting beliefs somewhere in our chakras, as Margaret shared. So share this with a friend, help them shift their energy, help them flow into abundance with you, support each other through the process. Can't wait to hear all the beautiful stories. All right. Love you all. Thanks for being here with us.
Everybody.